Hey everyone, Jeff here from Films at Home, and it looks like Disney has finally fixed this animated classic on 4K UHD. Hey everyone, thanks for coming back to the channel today for this review. Today we're going to be taking a look at Cinderella, the 1950 animated classic on 4K Ultra HD. Now this is the Disney Movie Club exclusive, which is available now to Disney Movie Club members, but there will be a wide release of this available in the fall of 2023 for everybody to purchase as well. I do want to give a quick shout out to subscriber Andreas who sent this to me. Thank you, huge help to the channel, and I'm so happy I get to review this and not have to wait for that wide release later in the fall, so you guys all know whether it's worth picking up or not. So diving right into the visual transfer on this and the 4K transfer, we do have to talk a little bit about how Cinderella looked on past formats, specifically Blu-ray, because that's probably what most of you are upgrading from. Now the Blu-ray release of Cinderella had some DNR, it had some grain scrubbing. They scrubbed a lot of the detail out, and while it looked pretty good on its own, it wasn't super faithful to the original source. It really didn't have that film grain and the texture that this type of animation should have had. It was completely scrubbed, and it looked more like a modern animated movie than the 1950s animation, which it really should have portrayed. Now I'm happy to report that here on 4K, all of that texture is back. It is not nearly as scrubbed down. In fact, there's a ton of texture in the animation. There is some nice, very fine grain. The animation looks so much better, so much more natural. It doesn't really look like the almost borderline CGI animation that they tried to turn this into on Blu-ray. This is a natural hand-drawn animation. The rotoscoping looks excellent. All of the hand-drawn stuff looks excellent. It is a super, super crisp image. From the minute I turned this on, I was actually blown away because the opening of the storybook looks absolutely fantastic, and then from there the color and the detail throughout this 4K transfer just exceed every expectation that I had, and it's really nice to see that Disney has essentially righted their wrongs and fixed this one, and this is definitely the best version of Cinderella that you can own on home video at this point, and likely the best version that we will ever own, because 4K is probably about the limits for this type of thing. Now this disc does have HDR10, which isn't super different. Like, they didn't do any sort of revisionist color grading, which is nice. What they did was they kept the same sort of color grade, and it's just enhanced. It's just HDR enhanced. It's a little bit brighter. There's some better shadow detail. Contrast is better. All it did was enhance the image, but it's definitely not dramatically changed from what you're used to, which is a good thing. That is what I prefer, is to keep the color grade as close as we can to what we think the original vision was and just enhance it with the new technology, and that's what they've done here. So from the visual side, this is a no-brainer pickup. This is an easy upgrade over your Blu-ray. It corrects all the mistakes of the previous Blu-ray visuals, and it's a much needed upgrade from Disney that I am so happy they finally gave a chance to. Now the audio side of things is where this gets pretty interesting because there's a lot going on. On the Blu-ray discs that you guys may own, there was a 7.1 DTS HD track. On this release, we only have a 5.1 DTS HD, and if you look at the 4K disc, it has a Dolby Atmos logo on it, which is really interesting because there is no Dolby Atmos. And it's definitely a mistake somewhere, but typically, Disney would include Atmos tracks. They have been, as good or bad. They have the licensing, but it just wasn't available here. But looks like maybe it was thought that it could be at one time. They printed them on the discs, but it's not on the packaging anywhere, and it's definitely not on the disc itself when you go to play it. So that's kind of weird, but don't be surprised. It says Atmos, there is no Atmos, and there is no 7.1. It's 5.1 DTS HD, which is solid. I would have liked to see them keep the 7.1 because I actually really liked that, and previous Blu-rays actually had some of that original theatrical sound as well, like mono tracks, which this does not have. So your only option here is 5.1 DTS HD. It's fine, but I would have liked for them to have included the original theatrical, and I would have at least liked to get the 7/1 track that we had before. So it's, I'm sort of curious why they made that decision. It doesn't sound bad, the difference between 5/1 and 7/1. It's pretty minimal. I think most people, you'd never notice the difference, but it's just a kind of odd thing. Now for packaging, what we've got here is a nice Disney 100th anniversary slipcover. I like that the Disney 100 is sort of underplayed. It's sort of just, sitting there casually. It's not in your face, over the top. Actually has a nice white border on the top of the slipcover, which I thought was interesting. Some classic Cinderella artwork, which I really like. It's nicely embossed. It has some really cool design to it. And then on the inside, with the Disney Movie Club exclusive, you're going to get basically every format you could hope for. You've got 4K, Blu-ray, DVD, and a digital code. So popping open the inside, there is a tray. You'll see the 4K has some artwork, the Blu-ray, and then the DVD, just pretty standard, and then that digital code, which you can redeem as well. So the interesting thing is the one that's coming out this fall won't include the DVD, so this truly is like the ultimate collector's edition. It has every modern format, including digital. The other thing that should be noted, if you haven't upgraded to 4K yet, is that the Blu-ray that's included here is also newly remastered and is much better than previous Blu-ray releases. So even if you haven't upgraded fully to 4K, this would be a good release to buy for the future. If you ever think about having plans for upgrading to 4K, I would say buy this, and in the meantime you can watch that new and improved Blu-ray disc in 1080p. So for special features, the 4K disc doesn't have any, and the Blu-ray disc carries all of those. Most of this is carried over from the Signature collection. Now I have the Diamond Collection Blu-ray, which actually has a few more special features, including a Tangled animated short. But honestly, some of the stuff, the missing stuff, I don't think is a huge deal. The Tangled short was included because it was a tie-in to Tangled, and obviously in 2019 they weren't doing that tie-in anymore when Signature Collection came out. So it has most of what you'd come to expect. It's definitely not as much as the DVD releases. It's not as many special features as the big Laserdisc box, which is one of the few Laserdiscs I actually own that has like lithographs and just a bunch of special features and booklets and artwork. Like, it has a ton of stuff. But considering we are at least getting everything over from that Signature collection, you're not missing anything here. So that is a good thing, and they're all on the Blu-ray disc. So the 4K is going to be purely for your own visual experience. If you want to dive into those features, you will have to swap discs. Overall, I think this is a really strong effort from Disney, and it makes me super hopeful for what they can do with the rest of their catalog. I've heard now that Snow White is also going to drop on 4K, which is great. We've heard that Disney wants to do more with physical media, legacy home video that Bob Iger mentioned. He's talked about this stuff, and Cinderella being a Disney Movie Club exclusive, yeah, I know that kind of sucks for some people to start, but it obviously was important enough that they are now releasing it wide. So some people thought it might only be an exclusive. No, they're going to put this out in stores. It's going to be a wide release in the fall. I think this could be a really good sign for Disney, at least the way they handle their animated classics going forward. And I'm very much looking forward to Snow White. And if they can dive into any of that other back catalog, especially these hand-drawn animated movies, which look fantastic on 4K, that'll be great for collectors. But this Cinderella 4K is definitely a must-have. If you have a Disney Movie Club membership or you have a friend who can get it for you, I recommend getting it. This release has everything you'd want, but if you think you can wait, everyone's going to have a chance to buy this in the fall, and no matter what, it's well worth a purchase. So thanks for watching this review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm happy to say that with Disney, I had a very good experience, and this is a good sign because, in the past, it's been hit or miss, and so this is a very exciting review for me. I was super skeptical about how this was going to look, and it looked fantastic. So go pick this one up. Support what Disney has done here with this disc. They've righted their wrongs. They've corrected mistakes. That's important. We like to see that. So thank you for watching. Make sure you follow me on social media. Make sure you're subscribed here on YouTube, and of course check out the Films at Home podcast for everything physical media and home entertainment. And as always, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe and stay healthy out there. Here's to more great Disney releases like this, and I will talk to you all soon.